is the 23 News Update at 10.
Here's a look at Rockford's far west side after strong winds and rain sweep across the city. ComEd reports hundreds of outages for the area at this hour. Good evening, I'm Nathaniel Langley. A gas station loses its roof while a neighborhood goes into the night without power. One storm leaves those across Rockford unsure what's next. Reports of widespread damage first arrived around 4 o'clock this afternoon. It wouldn't take long driving on West State Street to notice fallen trees, down wires, and more across Rockford's west side. You just saw a look at that mobile gas station near Meridian Road and US 20, with its canopy collapsed. And just a few blocks over, a house fire broke out near the 100 block of Graver Avenue. Residents didn't see the powerful winds and rain coming.
At one point we couldn't see anything. We just saw rain, wind, we saw trees coming down. There was a tree that was blocking the entire oncoming traffic lanes. So it happened really quick, it happened really fast.